Yeah, let's just Vanna White it. My best-selling soap, year after year after year. It's the soap that I particularly don't care for. I don't love it. And I have to make it 2 times, if not 3 times per year. And I make my 40 to 44 bar batch size for my size business, for my sales. The fact that I have to make it at least twice, if not 3 times a year, that is a best-selling soap. What is this best-selling soap? I'm not telling you. All right, I'll tell you. It's a man soap. It's the most man scent I have. Is my best-selling scent? What? Perfectly Manly. That's what I call the perfect man from Nature's Garden. I haven't shared the making of this with you in a year and a half, maybe. I don't honestly remember the last time I taped it. It's not something I tape and show you guys every time because I make it all the time. You'd get bored with me. Perfectly Manly 25B. This is the second time this year I've made this soap. I'll see you on the other side. So this is the second soap I'm making tonight, and the first one was so simple and only used like 2 dishes. So I'm paying for it now, and I'm going to use several dishes. I'm going to do several different colors for this Perfectly Manly soap. So I'm going to have a small amount of black accent. So I have black pearl mica from Nurture Soap. I'm just about out of that. I may need to add a little bit more, but I'm just going to see what happens with what I have in here. I'm also going to do a purple, and I'm using Harold's purple from Mad Micas. And my green, I wanted a darker green, so I have this blackish green from Micas and More. I'm going to do that. I think this time I'm going to make my base silver. So I have this silver graphite from Micas and More. I want to see how that looks. I don't necessarily want it to be white, I don't think. So these are my colors. I want to stay in the color schemes I usually go, just so that they're somewhat familiar. But I'm going to process these down with a little bit of extra olive oil. I have a little old bottle here that I just keep refilling. I'm just going to throw some olive oil in here and smush them until they are all smooth and there's no specks that I can see. I try to use as little olive oil as I can, just because I don't want my super fat to be too much. It's pretty thick, but that's not a problem for me. I'm okay with that. It's just going to save me a little stick blending when it comes time to blend these in. Now, technically, if I did this and I did it super well, I could skip stick blending the fragrance or the colors. But I don't know, guys. I just like stick blending my colors in. It makes me have a little bit more confidence in the colors that I'm putting in there and that they're well blended. And I also like stick blending in my fragrance oil unless it's thick. Unless it's getting too thick, and I'll stir in my fragrance oil. But I've made the mistake in the past of not getting my fragrance oil stirred in well enough, and it separated out on me. That was not a good experience. So I do tend to stick blend in my fragrance oil if I can. And I don't do super intricate swirls. I think I'm just going to put the gray in the batch. I'm not going to pre-process it down or anything. I'm just living on the edge. I turned off my hot plate on the back counter, and my oils are just about melted. They've just been sitting there off the heat, but still on the hot plate to finish melting. It's 153, so it's still pretty hot. So these are my hard oils. Adding my liquid oils will cool this down, but at this temperature, it won't cool it down enough to soap right away with. I'll still have to let it cool. I need to make sure I have enough safflower oil, honestly. I think I have just enough oil. I need to place an order. I'm trying really hard not to place any orders for anything right now. I need my olive oil, safflower. I also have a little safflower thing for just that occasion and other things too. And castor. This is 116 now, so that cooled it down better than I thought it would. A little chunky there from the freezer. But let me get my kale and clay in there and let me stick blend this. I can't believe that this soap is my best-selling soap. I just don't even like it that much. It's like, why? Why is it so light? We are at 108. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm almost tempted to just go with it. But I think I will let it cool down just a little bit. I'm going to go get my lye water. Clean up my mess around here. Let me weigh off my fragrance oil. I'm just going to use my goat milk container. There's no need to dirty a different one. This is a very strong scent. And the last time I made it way too strong. I mean, it's strong. Everything's right around 100, so it's a little bit warm, but nothing too crazy. Where's my glasses? Oh, crud. Oh, no, wait a minute. I thought I have them. I thought I was going to have to run back upstairs. I don't. They're fitting a little funny. I think they're a little cockeyed right now. So you guys may have seen my other videos where I'm talking about trying to change the size of my bars. I'm trying to make them a little bit smaller. My bars are big, comparatively speaking. They're usually between 5 and 5.5 ounces. They last too long. It's not even the money thing, although making them the size I'm thinking about making them, I'm saving, I don't know, 10 to 20 cents per bar. Nothing like a super huge amount, but surely that adds up over time. I think mostly it's just they're too big. And I think people want variety, and having a bar last so long gives them less variety. And I have gone up to, most of my bars are $8.50. I think I could go down to 8 if I made them a little smaller. And that way at craft shows, I can easily do the 8 or 4 that I like to do. Whereas before, that's more difficult to do that. And I have my natural line, and most of my natural line soaps are $9 just because they are much more expensive to make. Have you guys checked out the price of patchouli? I was looking back on my website. Patchouli is like, what, $60 or $70 for a 16-ounce bottle? I used to get it for like $20, not that long ago. So what in the world happened with patchouli that it all of a sudden is astronomically expensive? It's painful. But anyway, so that's why my natural soaps are normally $9, just because they cost me so much more. You know, I just make a mess. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to try to get some of this up. I think I'm wasting my time. Maybe not. I got a good amount of it up. I'm just going to stir these by hand for a second. So I'll be right back when I stir them by hand. I'll probably add the fragrance oil and stick blend it all in one time. That's actually a little darker than I meant for it to be, so I'm going to add a little TD to it. That's definitely closer to what I was looking for. I think, guys, I'm just going to do an in the pot swirl. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. This is not the easiest mold for me to pour into, so I want to do my best to make life easy on me. And in she goes. I may finally be getting better at not keeping too much of this color in the jugs. That's pretty good. I'm happy. Now, I think last time I did a bit of a spoon texture, but those are hard to wrap with the biodegradable film without it ripping and tearing holes and different things. So I'm just going to keep it simple. And I'm just going to do a bit of a swirl. Very random. It's kind of the thing I do the most is this right here. I just take a skewer and just go to town and try to stop myself before I get too muddied. All right, another one down for tonight. I feel much better having these two soaps made. I can't believe how long it's been since I've made soap. So I have made 2 soaps every month since February. So February 2, March 2, April 2, May 1. So this is now June. I've got my 2 under my belt and it's early June. So maybe I'll make some more. Okay, let's cut Perfectly Manly, guys. There is a side view. So this is a 1/3 size about. So I'm okay with having that. And then I can cut that in half if I want to have a sample to give somebody. I want to try to do this. I like having my swirls in line for when I take pictures, so I will look at the top of the soap and find the swirls that are pretty. I have to make sure I'm not on the edge of my sheet tray here, because the way the bun rack is made, it will gouge them. I'm so focused on the size of my bars, I haven't even looked at the swirls. No, I think this was an in the pot swirl. It's really not my favorite swirl. It's kind of muddied in my opinion usually. Or maybe it's just the way I do it. Not my favorite swirl. Yeah, what do you think? That's not my favorite. Mine always look like that. Just kind of too much, too many swirls. So this is, I think it should be right at a 1/2 inch. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's right at 1 inch, and it is exactly 1 inch. So if I was to do 2 1/4 inches, it would be a full-size bar. So I just need to cut 2 1/4. Two and a quarter. So that leaves 4 of these size samples, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this in half this way because it's thick. And these can be order samples. It's really very little waste in this mold, which that makes me happy. So instead of 40, I have 44. Let's see, I need a little bit more space here. There we go. Now the design. I don't care for in the pot swirls, and I think that's what I did. Now, I could have pulled way too much for my color, and I am horrendous at doing that. I've recommitted myself to not do that just in the last couple weeks, but I know that back then when I was doing this soap, I was probably pulling too much for color. And maybe I would like an in the pot swirl better if I didn't pull but just a little bit of color. I need to test that. Okay, hold me to it. We're gonna test it with a different soap. I'm gonna try an in the pot swirl and I'm gonna put just a little bit of color in there and let's see what happens. Anyway, here we are with this year's Take 2 Perfectly Manly. I forgot that I don't put a full 5%. I've gone to 5.5 to 6% of my oil weight for my fragrance. I forgot that I go down to 4 or 4.5 on this. It is very strong. The last time I made it way too strong, so I just backed off a little bit on this one. I can't remember exactly right now how much I added. I didn't want to go too quickly back down to that 4.5%. I think I did 5 of my batch oil weight. It is a strong scent. It doesn't need that much. It really honestly does not need 5% oil weight in your fragrance. Whew, it is quite cologne-y to me. I much prefer Micah's and More Southern Gentleman. That is another very popular soap that I make. It's on my counter downstairs now for me to remake that. It's another one. I do have to make that one at least once a year. But this one outsells it. I prefer that scent personally. I think this is just so cologne-y. I don't really care for it, but sales don't lie, and it is popular. So there we go, Perfectly Manly 2025. Let me know what you guys think about this. It's a very popular scent on just in general with soap makers. So let me know if you make it and how you like it, and if you're like me, if it's like one of your best-selling scents, because for me, it is a best-selling scent, and I just can't fight it. It's so weird to me that my best-selling soap is for the guys. Isn't that funny? I don't know why. I know so many men that actually love homemade soaps. So I don't know why it feels, maybe it's just my age, you know? It just seems so funny to me that it's a guy soap that's my bestseller. Yeah, that's funny. Guys, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed the making of Perfectly Manly 2025. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, okay? You can give me a thumbs down too, that's okay. I am gonna get off here. Have a great day. Have a great week, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye.